Hi, hello, and welcome to yet another episode of World Cup Titbits. Or should I say, no, okay, probably the next episode will be the final episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
World
this is
Cup
a
Titbits.
penultimate episode.
Exactly. With Gully Cricket. And we have our boys, Manas and Shash over here. I know it's been a
Yeah,
couple of days since the semi final.
yeah,
Okay.
Mm.
But Manas, what a match that was. It's a great level of cricket, isn't it? Shaheen Afridi, when he was bowling his first spell, right, we were messaging, oh my God, every ball looks like a wicket.
Yeah.
Same bowler, when the catch gets dropped, and the next three balls goes for 600, match over. Amazing match, wasn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't poor bowling by Shine at that point, but it was just the masterclass of the Australian batsmen,
Mhm.
which turned the game. And yeah, a good match after a long time because this season has always been like a one-sided affair,
Mm.
except for that one England versus South Africa, which we're talking. And it's been mostly one-sided, and we never got to see such exciting games till the semi-finals came up.
Mhm.
And both the matches in the semi-final were like too good, like beyond expectation. And this match too, like Australia had to chase a lot. 179 wasn't a small target,
Mhm.
yeah,
and at the 10th over point, also it looked like it can go either ways because they needed almost 89 runs. And that's when Stoinis stepped up and actually scored some boundaries and released the pressure and took it till that point where Wade had to hit three sixes. And that was the best part of the match. And Hassan Ali, I think he should not be blamed because it's the pressure 19th over and they just needed like 20 of 10 or something. So obviously there's going to be pressure and it is just brilliance by Wade. It's all about Wade. That match was about Wade and Stoinis also. As well. You should not forget Stoinis' contribution.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we all drop catches. I really don't think you should be blaming a person just for one dropped catch or whatever it is. But Shash, I really thought Pakistan were the favorites, especially when Maxi got out, right?
yeah,
Okay, I think they still needed to get around 80 runs or something. I think a little over 80 runs with only 7 overs to go. Okay,
yeah.
I really thought, like, especially with Shadab bowling really well and picking 4 wickets. Talk about that partnership, okay, between Stoinis and Wade. That proved to be, I mean, unlikely heroes for Australia, okay,
Yeah.
and proved to be a game changer.
Yes, I mean, as you mentioned, at the point where Maxwell got out, you thought that Pakistan are firmly in the driving seat, and you cannot fault everyone for thinking that way as well, because you knew that the task was quite tough. If I have
Hmm.
to put it that way. Maxwell fancied himself against. Maybe he could have just seen off Shadab and probably tried at the other bowlers, but that's Maxwell. He backs his instincts, and it just didn't come off. And a pretty good catch there by Harris Ruff as well. To
Hmm.
dismiss him, the ball was swerving away, and
He
he
actually
managed to take
overrun
a
the ball and then he caught it in the right
yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah. So that was that. And frankly, I mean, what Wade said, like during the presentation, was that he wasn't sure whether, he didn't know what was happening at that point when he came to the crease, along with Stoinis,
Mhm.
because there were a lot of runs required. And I think that was the last recognized batting partnership that
Mhm.
was playing for Australia. But I think credit to both of them for maintaining their calmness and picking and choosing the right balls, to actually go for the boundaries. I think Stoinis started that off, and I think then Wade also opened up and played some incredible shots, especially the ones in the last over to hit
Mhm.
someone bowling at 140 plus, behind the wicket. It's a lot of risk. You can even damage your face in case the ball, if you don't connect it properly.
Mm.
But I think it just shows the confidence and the skill level. I mean, Wade has been in brilliant form, like even in the Big Bash League and other tournaments. And I think he had not played, I think, for like 2 or 3 years. And but
For
then,
Australia. Yeah.
yeah, for Australia. But then I think his form is what something that got him into the team, and I think it's pretty well justified as to why he's there in the squad. He sort of proved that as well the
Yeah.
previous night.
Yeah, because I was thinking like they did not have a clarity of role for a long time. Like they tried him in opening, they tried him at
Yeah,
number 4, number 6.
because
And
he plays. He plays opening for the Hobart Hurricanes when he plays in the Big Bash League, and he's been
right.
quite successful along with Darcy Short playing that role.
Right,
So I
but
think they did
since
try that.
Finch and Warner are already
Warner, yeah.
established over here, so they gave him
Mm,
the finisher role, and what a role that he did as well. But
yeah.
looking back at the match, right, Manas, I think the match was won and lost in the first 10 overs of Pakistan innings. Okay. But what is it with this 2020 World Cup batting first? Teams tend to go conservative. Okay. And that actually comes back to haunt them, and the chasing side actually uses it as an advantage. You think that was a turning point over there?
Yeah, like quite possible because at the toss when both the matches, I think the semi-final, both the matches, the winning toss winning team chose to chase and
Correct.
they won both the matches.
Yeah.
And both the matches looked like the batting first team can win it, but the chasing team did it. So yeah, the dew has played a very important role here, and it becomes easier to chase. We've seen this right from the IPL.
Mm-hmm.
Even on this pitch where Dubai,
Mm-hmm.
19 out of 24 matches was one chasing.
Mm.
And yeah, if you're put to bat first, Pakistan scored 179. It was a decent total, but uh, the average has been 181. So you need to get average 181 to win the match. So
Okay.
the winning team has scored
So
181, but most of the matches were played between an associate nation in
all
this.
right. Yeah. So I think
So
probably they fell short by 5
yeah.
runs or 10 runs. I mean, yeah, that's all hindsight. But
Mhm.
just continuing on that point, right?
Yeah.
Even Pakistan had a really good batting innings, right? I mean, Fakhar Zaman came and he blasted off at the end. This one played a good knock.
Yeah.
Okay. But a lot of criticism on Babar Azam's knock. Okay. So 39 on
Mm.
34. I mean, you've been very vocal about the kind of innings that Kohli plays these days. Okay. So do you think, like, like all these superstars, suddenly they feel very responsible, and they are not able to play the kind of innings that they would like?
Yeah, I mean, especially after the start that they had got in the power play, I think they got the second highest start,
Yeah,
or was it their first?
around 45, 50 for
47,
without
47
loss.
is what they
Yeah.
got. So I think once the spinners came in, like Zampa, who has been brilliant throughout the season, and even from Maxwell for that, and Maxwell was introduced, you could
Mhm.
see that they sort of were struggling, and they ended up scoring only 24 runs in the next 4 overs. You can say that sort of set them back. Yeah, and talking about Babar Azam's knock, yeah, you can say in the hindsight that he could have been a little bit more proactive, considering that they have a lot of batting. It's not that they were not trying. It's just that the bowling also was pretty good, and yeah, they missed out on opportunities, I would say, of scoring. In the end, you could say another 10, 15 runs maybe would have made the difference. Another thing I would like to point out is the coincidences or whatever in both the semifinals. If
Defense. Yeah.
yeah, like it
Mm.
had to be a left-hander from New Zealand and Australia who had to come and play a cameo knocks,
Mhm.
and it was the equation was pretty much similar. Both teams needed more than 50 runs in the last 4 overs, which is not easy to chase, and both of them managed to finish exactly with an over to spare.
Mhm.
So these were some parallels, you can say, in both the matches, which were quite similar.
Yeah, and I also saw that what both teams actually lost only 4 wickets batting first. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, both teams lost a wicket in the first over, something like that.
Okay.
I mean, probably Aaron Finch got out the first ball, and
Yeah, first one.
yeah, something happened similar in
Guptill.
the other match as well. Yeah, I mean, lot of parallels. Okay,
Hmm.
but that is the
I think five
semi-finals.
wickets, 5 wickets each, right? I
Yeah,
think New
they
Zealand
won by
lost
5 wickets
5.
each.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the winning margin was 5 wickets. So crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
probably it all turned out good for the people on the Eastern Hemisphere, Australia and New Zealand. Okay,
Mm.
which brings us to the World Cup T20 final today. It's a Trans-Tasman battle, Australia versus New Zealand. Manas, just tell me that, okay? I mean, Jimmy Neesham, like 2 years back when they lost that final, or probably tied that final, right? They said, okay, guys, please don't take up cricket, right? Yeah, die at 60, fat and happy, right? And he was about to quit cricket,
Mhm.
okay, because like he was not able to take failures and stuff. Okay, I think for Neesham and for the entire New Zealand team, there is another chance today.
Yeah, and they would want to redeem it as well because they've never won a World Cup yet.
Mhm.
And of course, he'll be disappointed after losing a chance to win the World Cup. And when you're so close and cup just went away from you, you'll obviously be disappointed and say stuff like leave cricket and all those things. But Jimmy Neesham has been an important player, and New Zealand has been playing very good after that. Like, we spoke about how till 2015 they never came to the finals, and after that they have been like reaching almost every final of the ICC tournaments.
I think this is the
And
third straight final they're going to play, right?
yeah, and they won one also last year or this year.
This year, India.
Yeah, this year. So they have got a good chance again today, and hopefully they go a step ahead. And like this will be their first World Cup, and I hope they get it because you know that rivalry between India and Australia. We never want Australia to win anymore. So I just hope New Zealand wins it.
All right, so I'm sure New Zealand would be getting a lot of support as well. But Shash, from an Aussie point of view, right? I know they're not the team that they used to be, but traditionally in ICC events, they've always had the wood over New Zealand. So you think they would go in with a little advantage today?
Yeah, you can say that because they've won a lot of finals, you know, they've been champions n number of times. So you can probably say that that is an advantage for them, that they know how to play on big occasions. Yeah, that can go in favor of Australia, I can say. You can also call this match as the good boys versus the bad boys of cricket, you know, like because New Zealand have always
the Mr. Nice guys
yeah,
versus the sledges. Yeah,
whatever you can call it, because New Zealand have always been traditionally known for the spirit of cricket. You know, I think once they had also won the ICC award for the spirit of cricket, the team, you know. Yeah, but coming back to Australia, I think they would be really confident, especially after the win in the semi-finals. You know, with David Warner especially coming back to form, and if he plays like that, then it is going to be difficult for the opposition to contain him. And also, you know, I think the only slight cause of concern might be the bowling, which took a bit of battering in the final overs. Like Hazelwood went for a few runs, then so was Mitchell Stark. So I think these areas, if they tighten up, Australia, you know, will be hard to beat. I would say it's going to be an exciting final, considering both teams will be going all out and giving the best.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be pretty exciting. I was just talking to one of my friends in New Zealand. Okay, and he said like we are going to be having our alarms up at 3 a.m. on Monday morning. Okay, probably forget the work and everything and get glued to the TV as well. All right. So Manas, I know it's definitely going to be win the toss and chase kind of a match. Okay, I'm sure that's been the thing of this entire World Cup. So what do you think is going to be the matchup, the key matchup that's going to decide the outcome of the match?
I think the spin attack. So considering both the teams don't play spin that well, so New Zealand has got Ish Sodhi and Santner, who both bowl towards the leg, and then it turns to bowl off, and then it moves towards the left. And considering that Australia has only one left-hander batsman in the top, David Warner. Sorry, only one right-hander batsman. Sorry, all of them are So it's going to be very important that Warner plays and targets Ish Sodhi and Santner, because I think the rest of them are just not going to do that. So Warner has to stick around, take charge, and score runs in the middle overs. So that's going to be a key important factor for Australia if they want to win.
But I'm sure, isn't it, Shash? I mean, the likes of Bolt, Saudi, and everything wouldn't want Warner to stay that long. Okay, so I really think it's going to be the New Zealand bowling, especially the first few overs against the Australian batting depth, because like yesterday we saw, right? I mean, they actually have a lot of batting depth. So do you think that could be the deciding factor of the final?
Yeah, I mean, you can even count on Pat Cummins to come in and strike a few mighty blows, because he's done that for Kolkata in one of the games and almost went pretty close to winning them. I think that is one area where Australia do have the upper hand, because I think after Mitch Santner, you don't have much to talk about in the New Zealand arms. But coming back to that. As you mentioned, the opening bowlers of New Zealand would want to prize out David Warner early. I mean, he can be a dangerous player. And as Manas mentioned, you know, to counter that spin factor as well, where both of the left arm off spinner and the right arm leg spinner will be bowling a lot outside off stump to the right-handers. And if Finn stays in for a while, he definitely likes that cover region and, you know, over the offside. So he might well attack, the spinners. So it all depends on how the opening combination goes for Australia.
So all in all, there are going to be a lot of interesting matchups. Okay, of course, what can we expect? It's a World Cup final and two superb teams. Remember, folks, they've actually beaten the tournament favorites in the semi-finals, right?
Yeah,
Pakistan
both England and
and
Pakistan.
England. Okay, and they have come. So yeah, there's a Tasman Sea, and right across them, both the countries will be watching with bated breath. And I'm sure we in India will also be supporting for one of your favorite teams. So it's a World Cup T20 final. It's Australia versus New Zealand. Remember, guys, this is going to be the link to predict your man of the match. So the last match, it was Mathew Wade. And yeah, that was a surprise
Yeah.
entry. And yeah, as expected, nobody got it right. But I'm sure today it's going to be very exciting. So whatever you're doing, get glued to your TV sets at 7:30 p.m. if you're in India, or if you're in India or Australia watching this, you know what the time is in your zones. Okay. Enjoy the cricket, folks, and predict your man of the match and have a lot of fun. I'm sure it's going to be, as Ravi Sastry says, cricket is going to be the winner. Cheers, guys. Yes.